essence of your presence, the times we were sharing in your residence. You could have all my dead residents. You got me so emotional, untypical. You got me flipping up my logicals. Now I'm losing all my mentals. Without a thought or doubt in my mind, I give you